Hi, I want to share with you today how I use Dr. Paper to help me write and format my papers in the Turabian format. Now, when I first started school, this book was recommended. It sits here on my desk, but I very rarely reference it. Dr. Pepper, though it's a little bit, it's not flawless, it's a little bit outdated, but it works. So I'm going to show you how I use Dr. Paper with Word to help me cite my sources and format the paper in the proper format. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to open up Word. I'll go ahead and use let's see, I'm going to open Word. I've got a paper draft I'm already working on. So I'm going to open that. And I'm going to open Dr. Paper. So let's go. I'm going to go my search, Dr. Paper, click menu. All right, so I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a new citation data file. And I'm going to start with a book, since I do cite from a lot of books. Then I'm going to close that. So here you fill in all of the items here. So I'm going to say for this exercise, I'm going to a book I have here on my desk, Church Planting in Europe. So the author, Everett Van de Poel, and Joanne Appleton. I'm actually going to ignore that because I don't like the way they format that. The year, they open up the book. Year is 2015. Book title, Church Planting in Europe. No place. So let's go back to that. It was published by Wift and Stock in Eugene, Oregon. Eugene, Oregon, publisher, Wift and Stock. So what page I'm going to cite? Page 14. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do a new record. Okay. Then I'm going to keep going and put in here all of the things I'm going to cite in my paper, everything that I resource for my paper, everything I research. So let's see, I'm going to go to my paper here. And here I'm working on an outline for paper. So here's one that's cited already. When you cite from, if you're using Logos, you can, so I'm doing a paper on a Christology from Colossians 1, 15 through 20. So I'm going to type that in here to Logos. And I'm going to say, I'm going to cite this bit right here, just as an example, in my paper. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go over here. I'm going to paste this in my paper right here. And it automatically puts a footnote. And I've got my settings to put it where it's going to cite it in the Turabian format. So all I need to do is take this information and put this into my Dr. Paper. So this is my author. Ignore. And the year, 1997. Book title. Two. got to edit that so it's cleaned up. Place. Let's see. We got Oak Harbor, Washington. Publisher, Logos. And the page it cited was page 372. Like that. All right. And then I'm just going to do a new, you can do the same thing with journal articles. They have all kinds of options to choose for different kinds of items to cite in your paper. So now that I've got a quote in here, I'm also going to say, I'm going to cite this book in my hand, just I write as Renderpool says in church planting in Europe. And I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to put a footnote on that. Go references, insert a footnote. And that will, down here, I can put in, go back here, I'll find, okay, so I'm referencing this book here. And I'm going to go cite. Ignore. So I want to cite this source. And I'm going to go over here and say style, Turabian, 9th edition. And I'm going to do, and I'm going to change it to this. And copy. And that's going to go right here. Home, paste, like that. There needs to be a comma here. And so that is formatted, cited my source easily in the Turabian format. So when I'm all done with my paper, it will generate a bibliography for me. There's also another thing that Dr. Paper can do. Let me close this. You can go back to our Dr. Paper quick menu. And we're going to do a new Turabian document. So this is it changed the template to my last paper I wrote here. And it formats the paper in that Turabian format. So you can see my sources cited here. Often I'll write my paper in a Word document like this, a draft, and then I will open up the Dr. Paper Turabian template page and I will paste it in here. So it will format it correctly with the title page. And then when you get to when you're done writing, you can go over to your citation file here and you can go to tools, generate a bibliography. And this is where it gets a little bit let's see. So I should be able to go, there's my bibliography like that. I'll probably go references, bibliography. And I would paste that right here. Like this. Delete where it says print. Okay, now delete this part. So that's how I would format my bibliography and cite all my sources in the Turabian format. I would use their template after I write it to paste it into the proper template. I have it formatted for that the school has for 1 inch on either side and the double spaced, indented. I have created a what do you call it? A design layout for that spacing and all those details on my Word. So that's how I do it. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to help. The Doctor paper comes with a plugin that's supposed to work with Word natively, but they don't have it updated. Microsoft Word is always being updated, and with it being all updated with the cloud subscription, now Doctor paper doesn't keep their software up to date with the latest on Word. So their plugins for Word don't work if you have a new Word, but there are workarounds to make the program work, and it's pretty simple.